Hey everyone, this is the first video in an ongoing series that I'm beginning here on the channel, where every week I'm going to do a full recap and review of a new comic that's been released. Our first comic here will be Jedi Fallen Order Dark Temple issue number 1, which serves as a prequel for the upcoming video game Jedi Fallen Order. In the first half of the video, I'll do a full recap of the issue, which will then be followed by my review of it. I hope that you enjoy the series everyone, and as always, thank you very much for watching. The issue opens with a TIE Interceptor descending upon the planet of Ontatho. As the Inquisitor, the second sister, emerges, a group of waiting Imperial Purge troopers informed her that they've located the field commander, who is attempting to pacify one remaining pocket of resistance on the planet. After proving she was owed deference and respect, being referred to only as Inquisitor, the second sister wanted information regarding a recent rumor. While Commander Addy saw it as insignificant, he eventually revealed that one of his men thought he saw a lightsaber. With that, the Inquisitor ordered the stormtroopers to stand down as she and her purge troopers jumped straight into the battle. With the Inquisitor shielding them with her lightsaber, the troopers opened fire, and after enough damage was done, a ceasefire was ordered. Only it wasn't necessary to look for survivors, as one was coming to them with a blue lightsaber igniting in front of them. The issue then jumps into the past years earlier, where we see Padawan Ciri Junda and her master Eno Cordova attempting to resolve a dispute between a group of Trandoshans and Dupe monks. Negotiations get off to a rocky start, as Ciri demonstrates an act of impulsiveness that rivals Anakin, using the Force to end the arguing between both groups. As Master Cordova apologized for his Padawan's actions, he calmly reminded her of their peacekeeping role. Speaking to Cordova's love of ancient cultures, he wanted an opportunity to study the monks, seeing a chance to carry out his Jedi mission, but also find a deeper understanding as well. As Cordova entered a hut to hear the point of view of the monks, his words were lost upon his Padawan, with Ciri immediately accusing the Trandoshans of instigating the hostilities on a peaceful group of monks. Even worse, the accusation caused the Trandoshans to begin arguing among themselves, drastically increasing the tension in the situation. To prevent the arguing from spilling into a physical altercation, Ciri tackled the group's leader, which as she learned was a challenge to the warlord's authority. With the entire group of Trandoshans now assembled against her, the Padawan was forced to defend herself. But as Ciri successfully stopped the attack, her master emerged not only to find his Padawan failed to keep the peace, but her instincts had failed her, as the monks admitted to stealing the Trandoshan tribe's credits. As Cordova apologized for his Padawan's actions, Ciri did so as well and recognized her mistake, one that would put her in front of the Jedi High Council on Coruscant. However, after Master Cordova defended his Padawan by recognizing her impulsiveness and eagerness in following her instincts, he noted that the ancient Jedi texts of the Order spoke highly of following one's instincts, as many times it was the Force itself speaking to them. While Ciri was still certain she would be thrown out of the Order, she and her master were surprised that the High Council wasn't considering such an option. With the theft by the monks and the illegal weapon purchases of the Trandoshans, the Padawan's actions didn't seem so bad in a complicated situation. More important, the Council had another mission for them. Given Cordova's interest in ancient artifacts and cultures, they were to travel to the planet of Ontatho, which had recently joined the Republic, to oversee the exploration of a newly uncovered temple where the Dot Corporation had been granted access by the planet's government. While it wasn't a Jedi temple, the Ontathon government wanted a representative from the Republic present. Elated that Ciri remained within the Order, the Master and Padawan agreed to carry out the mission as envoys of the Republic. Landing 3 days later, the Jedi were welcomed by Dylanto Da, the founder of the corporation granted access to the planet's temple. Or so the Jedi thought, quickly learning the truth of the matter. Although the differing regions of the planet formed a unified planetary government to join the Republic, the region known as Phylar refused, instead forming their own independent nation, and unfortunately, that was exactly where the temple was. Nevertheless, Dylanto believed the temple still fell under his jurisdiction, and between the use of armored vehicles and the presence of 2 Jedi, it was clear the Dot Corporation wanted a show of force to gain access. Regardless, Cordova and his Padawan set out on their attempt to discuss the possibility of allowing the corporation to study the temple, with the Jedi Master hoping to study the temple and the Phylari culture. But once they were deep within the forests of the region, it soon became clear it wasn't going to be that easy. They soon found themselves trapped in an apparent ambush. Ciri's impulsiveness caused her to depart the armored vehicle to find out exactly what was going on, with her master right behind her. As the Jedi made their way through the forest, Ciri sensed blaster fire and a struggle in front of them, but Cordova realized the forest also clouded their connection to the Force. Not in the sense that their connection was severed, but it was rapidly heightened, making it difficult to prevent being overwhelmed. Cordova tried to get his Padawan to focus, to make use of all of her gifts, not just the Force. He would soon sense the direction from which he believed their attackers were waiting for them, causing Ciri to yet again go charging forward with her lightsaber ignited, much to the dismay of her master. While she would eventually become lost again, she tried to reach out with the Force to rediscover the trail, only to discover a body. As she went to check on them, Ciri heard voices in the distance, noting the Jedi wasn't with the Da Corporation and attempting to form a plan of their own. While she tried to call out to them, the voices were silent. Eventually, Ciri would again meet up with her master, who was waiting for her at the transports, immediately informing Cordova that although she had gotten lost, she also found a body within the forest. As the master tried to teach his Padawan that there was more to the Force than they could understand, and thus running off wasn't a wise idea, a large explosion erupted behind them, annihilating the armored transports. As Ciri barely lifted her head off the ground in search for her master, an object struck her in the back of the head, with the same voice she heard from before, stating that they hoped they were right about Ciri, as the Jedi Padawan lost consciousness. I believe this was a good start to the 5-issue series. Instantly, the character traits and relationship between Padawan Ciri Junda and Master Eno Cordova is relatable to the experience of Obi-Wan and Anakin. But of course, the primary motivation behind the series is to serve as a prequel to provide some backstory for the characters that'll be seen in the upcoming video game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Most notably in this regard is Padawan Ciri, who we know will serve as a mentor figure for Cal Kestis within the video game. I feel like there's a good arc available for her character from the comic to the game, transitioning from impulsive Padawan who risks being cast out of the Jedi Order to a fitting mentor to Cal. A lot of the issue is set up to introduce the characters, but I did like the non-linear jump at the beginning of the issue from the timeline of what I would believe is the game to the pre-Clone War period Jedi Order. I just hope that the second sister and the Purge troopers aren't entirely lost along the way, but I am keeping my expectations low in that regard as this is a prequel series, and most of that part of the story will likely be saved for the game. But that said, since Ciri's lightsaber is green and the lightsaber wielder confronted by the Inquisitor is blue, I think it would be great to see the second sister in action within the comic. As a huge fan of the mysterious aspects of the Force and competing Force organizations, I like the introduction of the Temple on Antatho, and the existence of the Force that appear to be unknown to the Jedi. If you've seen a picture of who I have to assume are the Temple Guards, I'm hoping for a pretty decent payoff here. We know it's not connected to the Jedi Order, and I'm not expecting anything quite as unique and grand as the mysteries of the Lothal Jedi Temple, but anything in that realm would be great. My only hesitation here is that Ciri is likely to go back to the Order, so any knowledge obtained outside Jedi doctrine would likely have to be held by her alone. The writer of the comic series, Matthew Rosenberg, has described it as part of a quote, truly epic Star Wars story, so I'll hold to that at the moment. I also like the character of Jedi Master Eno Cordova. It's hard for me not to enjoy characters who are interested in ancient artifacts and who quote from the ancient Jedi text to get one over on the High Council. I hope we haven't seen the last of him with the way the issue ended. But my guess is he does return, but at the same time, losing that calm, sagely anchor for Ciri may be good for her story too. This isn't one that you have to run out and get in my opinion, as the real test for the story will be in the next 4 issues. But if you're like me and you plan to play the game, it's nice to get some introduction to the characters before it's released. If you could let me know what you think of Dark Temple issue number 1 and some of the expectations you have for the last 4 issues in the comments section below, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you for watching everyone, and as always, may the Force be with you.